Hey leaders, it's me again. I know you thought you got rid of me, but I'm back. Anyways, we just really want to say thank you and that we appreciate you guys and all the work that you did as we were gone. And we are so thankful to be back and serving with you guys on the weekly. It was so great seeing you guys last week, and we're excited to see you this week. We are talking about pretty much what God has created us to do. And today's week, we're talking about a problem solver. So we're going to go into the story of Joseph. And all of our lessons today are going to be kind of mixed match scenarios and how people have uniqueness and they can accomplish the same task in different ways. So the first activity that you're going to do, you can have everybody sit in a circle. And you're going to do rose, thorns, and spaghetti. Some of us may have heard of the rose and thorns of your week. So you start, the rose is the good thing, the thorns are the not so great things, and the spaghetti is the twister. It's the most weird or surprising or funny thing that happened. So you're going to go around the whole circle and have everybody share the best thing that happened to them, something they wish didn't happen to them, so the thorn, and then the spaghetti, the weird thing. And if you get around the circle, you can open it up to, okay, let's do this again, but for the whole month or for the summer, or you can change the time frame to kind of get them thinking and talking amongst each other and just getting to know each other. And then what you are going to do is you are going to divide your group into two teams, and you are going to protect the bears from the lava. I'm sure we have bears. If you don't have bears, it's some other type of thing in the classroom that you're going to use. What you're going to do is you're going to use the supplies that we've given you to get said bears or similar items off the floor. And if you have a phone and you want to play The Floor is Lava as a theme song, I'm sure most of our kids know that. Most kids know at least the TV show. And so you're going to give them a time limit, I would say, like 2 minutes to get all their bears off the lava. And then you're going to talk about their strategies. Why and how they came up with their strategies, and then what could they do different next time seeing somebody else's strategy, and then are there other supplies that they wish that they had at their disposal. And then as you're transitioning to large group, you will mention, today we're talking about a well-known problem solver. And then that's, of course, going to be Joseph. And then when you get back from large group, you are going to play a review game. You're going to give the kids paper, scissors, and then you're going to have a bunch of tape around the room, and they're going to make a paper chain. So for us who might not have made a paper chain recently, you cut a strip of paper, you make a circle out of that strip, and then in order to chain the next one, you put the strip through that circle, and then you tape it, and then so on and so forth. You're going to have the kids try to make the longest chain they can out of their paper. And again, you'll set some time and you'll let the kids do their best to make the longest chain out of what they're given. And then, of course, the kid who has the longest chain wins. And then when it's over and you have the winner and everything, you can talk amongst the group about the different strategies and what Billy may have used and Susie did not use. And then you can do this process again, but this time as kids make their strip, they have to put something, either a picture or a word or a phrase on the strip that reminds them about the story. And this would be something really good to take home. And then you're going to talk about that and how it relates to problem solving and Joseph. And then after that activity, you are going to move on to this activity. This will be the younger kids, so second and third. And then this one is going to be fourth and fifth. There's blanks, so you're going to go over the fourth and fifth and add some things to it. But what you're going to do is you're going to cut out the circle. You're going to cut out the arrow. They call them brads. I've never heard, maybe I've heard brad. I don't know. I call them fasteners, but they're the things that you stick through and then boop, so that you can spin the arrow. And then it's all about, this wheel has some great strategies for solving problems. Let's say you're facing a huge test and you're really nervous about it. Every time you look at the math book, it gets blurry, blah, 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 blah. How could you use something on the problem solving wheel to help? And so this is just brainstorming kind of coping mechanisms a little bit on what we can do when we run into a problem. And then there's a lot to talk about with that and getting in deeper with that. So make sure that you read script number 2 because it's a lot of words. And then you have 4 discussion questions to talk about after that activity. That starts off with, what are some big problems that seem impossible to solve? That should be a fun one. There's a lot of them around. And then the last thing you are going to do is we're going to dive into the word, the Bible. And so try to have the kids at least partner up so that everybody can look at a Bible. You're going to look up Ephesians 2:10. You're going to say this verse 3 times with your kids. We really want them to write this on their heart. So repeat it 3 times with the kids. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get this piece of paper, and your kids get to make their own recipe. But the caveat is the recipe that they use has to have the complete words from the verse. So these are like going to be on the back. And so whatever the ingredient they choose, they have to make sure that they have the whole verse because it's verse recap. And then you're going to talk about what recipe they made. So they might end up with noodles with hot fudge and sprinkles, which is so elf, but that's okay. And then after that, you are going to go into a prayer time. This week's prayer time, we are encouraging you to say prayer with eyes open and you leading and then the kids following your motion. So the prayer goes, God, thank you for everything you've given us and made us to be. Thank you for our hearts so we can feel the love that you have for the people around us. Thank you for our minds and the way you've wired us to dream and think and plan and how we can demonstrate your love to others. We are grateful for the gifts and the skills you've put inside of us so we can creatively introduce people to you. Thank you for the time you have sovereignly given us so that we can be right here, right now with these friends you've given us. And lastly, thank you for our whole creative selves. Help us to use everything you've given us and all you've knitted us together to be to help the world around us. May we always be reminded that you can use what God gave you to solve problems. And we just really encourage you guys, we're in this time where these kids sincerely doubt that they are put on this earth for a created purpose. So we really encourage you to go into this weekend with prayer and with preparation that these kids might have some tough problems and some tough questions. We are praying for you guys. We thank you so much. You guys are an absolute blessing to us. This ministry, these kids, it's not possible without you. So thank you, and we can't wait to see you.